Here we are for AP Physics. Advanced Placement Physics is a second-year physics course offered here at Waubonsee Valley High School. My name is David Sieh. I've been teaching AP Physics now for 22 years here at Waubonsee Valley High School. Let's hear my background. So I imagine that you would like to know basically three things out of this. You'd like to know a little bit about the person who's teaching your student. You'd like to know a little bit about the course, and you'd like to know a little about how to help your students if you've got questions or if they have questions. So to start with, like I said, my name is David Sieh. I've been here for 23 years at Waubonsee. So my background, I grew up in Wheaton, Illinois, so I'm from nearby. And I got my degree in chemical engineering from University of Illinois in Champaign. So I kind of come at physics with a background in a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of engineering, chemical engineering. And that informs what I do. I've been married for 15 years now. I have two kids, Andrew and Nathan, who are now just starting junior high. What else would you like to know? That's pretty good. So let's talk about the course. So like I said, the course is Advanced Placement Physics. In this course, we're trying to prepare your students for two exams, actually. Two for the price of two, actually. But anyway, AP Physics Sieh is what it's called. There's an AP Physics Sieh Mechanics exam and an AP Physics Sieh Electricity and Magnetism exam. And so we're trying to prepare them for both. We'll spend the first semester on mechanics topics. And so we'll cover kinematics and forces and energy and momentum and rotation, harmonic motion, universal gravitation. And you say, well, some of these topics are things that they saw last year in first year physics. But we're going to go into more depth. We'll go look at situations that would have been a little more complicated for a first year course. In particular, the major difference between second year physics and first year physics is that we're going to use calculus throughout. Calculus was developed by Leibniz and Newton in order to do physics. We're going to make use of that. The class works really well for someone who's learning calculus at the same time. The two classes kind of go together really nicely. Some of the math that they're learning in math class, they'll see it applied here. Oftentimes, I'll actually teach them a little bit of calculus just before they see it in their math class. And so in here, they'll get like kind of an overview of the main ideas of the different techniques, and then they'll get to apply them and do more complicated cases in their math class, which is really nice. In this course, we're focused on the physics. The math is just a tool for us to solve the problems. And so we're not going to do like really complicated calculus problems or anything. The calculus here is, like I said, it's kind of nice. It's fantastic to do the two courses at the same time. Let's see here. So moving on. So having calculus lets us do cases where like forces are changing over time instead of having to be constant. And like I said, we can look at really understand the relationships between the physics variables a lot better because of those new math tools. So we'll go in more depth. Like for example, in forces, we'll also spend some time talking about air resistance and like fluid resistance. You know how when something's falling, the faster it goes, the bigger that air resistance force, or like you stick your hand out the car window, the faster you're going, the bigger that force back on your hand. That's something we wouldn't have been able to handle in first year physics, where that force depends on how fast you're going and how that affects the motion. Like I said, we can do more complicated cases like that. All these things are going in more depth. Like in momentum, we'll talk about finding the center of mass of objects, of systems, and how the center of mass affects collisions and momentum. In rotation and spinning motion is something we didn't really touch last year in first year. We didn't talk about simple harmonic motion in first year physics either. That's a certain kind of a special type of motion where things oscillate back and forth, like a mass attached to a spring wiggling back and forth, or like a pendulum, or like a plucked string, or a column of air in a musical instrument would all follow simple harmonic motion. In second semester, we'll focus on electricity and magnetism. We did a little bit of electricity last year, electrostatics, and a little teeny bit of voltage. We're going to way more depth this year and get some really cool stuff with electricity and voltage and capacitors and circuits and dealing with magnetism and electromagnetic induction. It's good stuff. All right, and so these are two separate exams that we're preparing them for. Something I'll say about the course is that this course it's not just about preparing them for an exam. We want them to understand, a little bit more about how the universe works. Physics is the search for the basic rules that govern the universe. That's what physics is about. And I want, on the one hand, I want students to be free to explore different topics and go in more depth on things where they're more interested and such. But on the other hand, for College Board for the exam, there's certain topics that we're supposed to go through, and you'd like to think that the College Board curriculum would really go well with learning physics, but sometimes College Board and really good understanding of physics, they're kind of at cross purposes. For example, AP exams are timed exams. They have a limited amount of time to go through. And so on the one hand, I want to prepare them for these exams, so I should give them exams in that format so they get used to it. But on the other hand, we know that a timed exam is not the best way for a person to show you the depth of knowledge they have on a subject. So there's times where you have to kind of compromise one way or the other. What else can I tell you about the course? We'll do, like I said, a lot of laboratories, working in small groups, discussing in small groups, then coming back to the whole main group and discussing. There's going to be a significant amount of lecture because of the fact that we have all this top material to cover. There's great resources for your students. For starters, we'll say, obviously, besides me, another resource for them is the textbook, Physics with Calculus. It looks like this. It comes in 2 volumes by Fletcher. The students don't have to lug these around with them. I tell them to take them home and keep them where they do their homework because the book is actually available online. If they go online, anyone can go search up Craig Fletcher, books of Craig Fletcher, or Physics of Craig Fletcher, and you'll find it. And so the textbook's there. It's got great questions. It's got sections of conceptual questions. Every problem in the text, complete worked out solution available online. Not just like the answer is 12, but every step in discussion of it. Really cool. There's these helpful videos. This is these apphysicslectures.com that's put together by this guy named Byron. He's just a high school AP Physics teacher, and he made all these cool little videos explaining these topics. College Board, the company that makes the AP exams, they have their own now. They just put them out the last 2 years. These videos, they call them AP Daily videos. Byron's videos are often a bit better. Anyway, again, absolutely free and available for them to go to. I will oftentimes assign viewings of Byron's videos. And then, like I said, it turns out that I'm not the only teacher in the building who's taught AP Physics. So students are encouraged to come and ask me questions if they have them outside of class. My prep period, my lunch period, and my duty period, I'm available to students all 3. Okay, and that period's 4, 5, and 6 during the day. Quite likely that your student's lunch period coincides with mine. After school, I'm typically around every day for a while after school. Before school, Mr. Wishway has taught this course as well, and he's available before school. His classroom's right next door to mine, and he's available to answer questions as well. Students can always email me. The best way to get a hold of me is through my school email, David _ my last name, Sieh, S-I-E-H, at ipsd.org. Any teacher's email follows this format, but the easier way to do it is to just go to the school website, and over on the left side, you'll click on faculty and staff and scroll down to science department and look for the name that looks like C, and click on it. And there'll be a link there to go right to send me an email or to leave a voicemail right for me. Like I said, email works the best. I check my email every day. Let's see here. What else can I say? There's also other resources for students. Those really are the best ones. But there are all kinds of videos on the internet that are for learning AP Physics. But like I said, I kind of really like the College Board ones, and in particular these Byron ones are great. Let's see. What else? What can you do to help your student? In particular, I would say this course is a challenging course. Okay, and that's what we want for our students. We want them to have a course that makes them have to think and exercises their mind and increases their capabilities. That's what we want. This course delivers that. how many courses do you know where it's an AP course that has another AP course as a co-requisite, right? AP Physics has a co-requisite of AP Calculus that you've concurrently or have already taken a calculus course. Physics requires you to have good reading skills and understanding and spatial relationship abilities and communication skills and mathematical skills and like all this together. We will work together to help the student to get in there. What I would recommend is, like I said, besides just giving just general emotional support, is when you talk to your students, ask them about, hey, what are you studying in AP Physics now? How do you like it? Did you anything you found to be particularly challenging or interesting? Any cool applications of this that you've talked about or seen in class? Not just, how is your day going, but ask them a little bit about what they're learning in class, okay, and keep them thinking about it a little bit outside of school. I really, really strongly recommend that students discuss the physics with each other outside of class. It is acceptable and encouraged that they discuss the homework problems with each other and their approaches. I want them to do that. The homework problems are designed to help teach them the physics. The homework problems are not a test of their abilities that we're scoring them on. The homework problems are learning experiences, and we want them to have to struggle with them and then learn things from them. Okay, and they're designed that way. Let's see here, what else can I tell you? Besides encouraging students to come to me if they've got questions. I do this job for a couple reasons. One is primarily because I believe that education is a net good, right? That it is a good thing for students. Giving students, helping them to grow and become more capable gives them more options in the future. The more you know, the more you can do, the more choices you have, the more freedom you have, the happier a life you have. And I feel like my job is something that really is helping other people, and that's part of why I teach. I also teach because, frankly, I enjoy the physics. I enjoy learning how the universe works, and I love talking about the physics. So I love having students come and ask me about stuff and going through problems with them and discussing how it works in applications. And so, please, encourage them to do that. Sometimes honor students feel like I'm an honor student, I'm supposed to be really great, and I'm not supposed to need any help. That's not the case. It's certainly not with this course. So encourage them, email me with questions, happy to respond, happy to talk to them before school, after school, during 4th, 5th, and 6th periods. Just don't hesitate to reach out for help. And like I said, there's other teachers in the building. Mr. Wishway's also taught this course and has insight into the problems. And like I said, all those resources we've talked about. All right. Well, again, if you've got any questions, feel free to contact me. Email is the best way. Like I said, encourage your students in the course. We understand that it's challenging material, but you can do it. You can get through it. You put the effort in, get some help from time to time. It's going to be great.